The strained China-Japan ties are at the risk of worsening even further.
Well, during a parliamentary meeting on November 7th, Japanese Prime Minister Sane Takaichi claimed that a Taiwan emergency could constitute what she called a survival-threatening situation for Japan. And this, she said, would allow Japan to exercise its right to collective self-defense.
China called the Japanese Prime Minister's remarks as provocative and said that her comments on Taiwan have trampled on international justice, challenged the post-war international order, and severely undermined China-Japan ties.
I must stress once again that the Taiwan question is China's internal affair that brooks no external interference. The Japanese side should immediately cease interfering in China's internal affairs, stop provoking or crossing the red line, and refrain from moving further down the wrong path.
The timing of Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi's remarks infuriated Beijing. Her statement came shortly after Beijing designated October 25th as the day to commemorate Taiwan's liberation from Japanese occupation 80 years ago.
Now, in addition, Beijing held high-profile events in the months of August and September to mark the 80th anniversary of China's victory against Japanese aggression in World War II. That culminated with a massive military parade on September 3rd.
Takaichi, a hardline nationalist who took office less than a month ago in Japan, also infuriated Beijing by publicizing her meeting with a Taiwanese representative at a regional summit in Seoul in early November.
Survival-threatening situations is a legal term that allows Japan's premiers to deploy the country's self-defense forces. It is defined broadly in a controversial 2015 law that expanded the scope of when the pacifist country's military could act. The law, which marked a drastic shift in Japan's post-war security policy, was met with large protests at the time.
The current diplomatic row over the Taiwan issue is, however, not new. In April 2023, then Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida told Parliament that peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait is important not just to Japan's security, but also to the stability of the entire international community.
In December 2021, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's remarks had elicited a harsh reaction in Beijing, including an emergency meeting with Japan's ambassador to China. Abe had said, and I'm quoting here, "A Taiwan contingency is a contingency for Japan. In other words, it is also a contingency for the Japan-US alliance. People in Beijing, particularly President Xi Jinping, should not misjudge that."
In June of 2021, China warned Japan after its then Prime Minister Suga referred to Taiwan as a country during a meeting of national delegations. The country's bicameral legislature, in his first one-on-one parliamentary debate with opposition leaders, Suga named Australia, New Zealand and Taiwan, said such three countries have been imposing strong restrictions on privacy rights to curb the novel coronavirus outbreak.
The present diplomatic row is seen as an escalation of a complex and unresolved wartime history between the two countries. Beijing sees Taiwan as part of China to be reunited by force if necessary. From Beijing's point of view, recognition of its position on Taiwan is fundamental to any country establishing diplomatic ties with China. And most countries, including Japan and the United States, do not recognize Taiwan as an independent state. The US is opposed to any attempt to take the self-ruled island by force and has committed military aid to Taiwan.